Right, we'll add the microsolvers in a moment. But first, we need to organize this. It's a bit messy. You know, it's important to do your housekeeping. So color, I'll just maybe put what color. I'm putting black, white, and then transfer. I'll put the attribute that I'm transferring, CD. Let's put save CD. That's what we're doing. Save CD. Okay, delete. We're deleting the black there areas. Delete black. Subdivide is self-explanatory. Remove geo. Here, what are we doing? Set sim attributes. Okay. Deleting color there, delete CD. Okay, so I'm just quickly going through, and just so if somebody else comes in, or even for yourselves, once, you know, it's kind of handy when you save these scenes and you come back in later to take a look, you know, how did I do that helicopter explosion? So you can see, okay, I'm deleting black points, you know, I'm removing geometry. So at a glance, you can see what you've done. Probably more important if, you know, you're working with other people and you're sharing scene files. It's just kind of good practice to, you know, keep organized. Right, timeline there, power source, don't need to write anything on there. Rasterize, we know what this is doing, it's kind of clear. Great, let's maybe put some boxes around these. So this is, well, we'll put it around the whole thing. I'm going to make it purple. Val. Okay, over there, and then I'm going to move this over so they're kind of both together. I could put a box around both actually, because the whole thing is for the explosion. So I'll do that. Make the box purple, I don't know, and explosion. Okay, now that this is nice and pretty and organized, let's go into here and start adding some microsolvers. So I think I already turned off the dissipation. I'm just going to turn on the shredding in here, push that up to 1, get nice and strong. Lots of the values are going to be pretty strong. It's an explosion, there's, you know, high velocities and everything going on all over the place. So yeah, let's start with some turbulence. Gas turbulence. I'm going to drop a merge because I'm going to have 2 of these. Okay. Let's see. So let's push. I want it to be pretty strong. Swirl size. Let's push that to 1 as well. Let's just plug that in. More values. Let me go. I'll go back up to 0.1 just so we get something a bit faster here. Let me see if I go back. Let's visualize this. Let's do, yeah, no, I'll just do this one for the moment. And hopefully we can visualize it. There we go. So right away I can see that in the middle there. What I could do is turn that off. There we go. So we're getting a sense of the scale there. That looks about right. Okay, so I'm going to do another one. Just copy this one across. Press escape. Okay. And this one I'm going to make half the size. Right. Sorry, half the strength, but much bigger. So 20. So this is kind of like a big, I want to move big chunks of the explosion, right? But not too fast. So this is kind of like a wind, I suppose. So let's see that. I don't know. I guess we'll see both. Yeah. So you see, we get these big kind of wafts of movement now with this one, and then with this one we'll have smaller bits of turbulence from the fire itself. Cool. So turn those visualizations off, and Dissipate as well, a little bit of dissipation. Gas dissipates, there we go. And a little bit of, as per usual, a tiny bit of diffusion as well. So I'm going to set this to 0.1 and this to 0.05. Okay, and last but not least, something that gives you some really nice detail is the disturbance. Okay, let me merge these together. So for disturbance, again, I'll have one big and one small. Now the values, I'm going to push this up to 100. I want it really strong. Excuse me. And again, I'm just changing this to block base. So I have one really small. Okay. So the actual size of the noise is small, but the strength is very high. Okay. And then let's do another. And for this one, we'll just keep the same strength and make the size a bit bigger. So yeah, if you think about, we've got kind of really big noise, a bit smaller, and really small. So we're kind of, you know, covering every scale basically. What I try to do, and then merge all of these together. All of these merges are just for the sake of looking more organized. So we can see here we got disturbance, turbulence, dissipation there, like that. Let's just run a quick flipbook at this resolution, and then the final one will be quite a bit less. You know, in your cases, while you're playing around with values, I tend to, you know, keep one size for making big decisions, right? Do I want to bring in velocity? How strong do I want it to be? Do I want to use a collider? Things like that. And then while you're dialing things in, bring it down to kind of a medium scale, and then try to get as close as you can to your final resolution without having to sim overnight or for hours, you know, because things can change. You know, it's not just going to be the same with more detail. There are ways that you can do that. You know, you need to have kind of more than you're kind of sourcing one sim from another sim. But it's just something to keep in mind, that you can't just drop the number right down and expect to see the same thing. So I'm going to just do this one on 0.1, and let's just do a flipbook with that, and then we'll cache out that final high res sim. Just realized I've got this still turned off. There we go. So we can actually see something there now. Let's bring in the helicopter as well. And you know, I want to set this to smooth shaded. There we go. So we don't see that box. Maybe turn off the ground as well. Cool. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. So got a cache all done there now. And yes, looking fantastic. You can see the flames. I really like the flames along the bottom here. Get a sense of the shredding. Before they were looking kind of straight and, you know, a bit weird. Now we've got some nice flickering kind of flame, similar to the corridor fire that we did. And then we got this nice expansion, all the heat and smoke rising at the back there, and a little bit of shape coming from the velocity of the helicopter as well. So all of that's kind of playing together. And then obviously we've broken up all these surfaces with that disturbance and the turbulence as well, breaking up these edges. And you know, once we bring down the particle separation, sorry, not the resolution even more, you know, we'll get even more detail, and then bringing that into render, it's all going to come together with the trails on top and the tail smoke, and you know, all the environment is going to look fantastic. So let's get rid of that. You can save it if you want. I'm not going to bother. And let's bring this into our volume cache. Let me turn that off just in case. Jump into our volume cache. So we'll do another one of these. Okay, alt click and drag across. because we'll be doing pretty much the same thing. We want the flame, temperature, and density, but we don't want to go here. We want to go into the explosion simulation. So, which is, where are you? Explosion, there you are. Okay, and it's going to be the smoke object within the explosion as well. So explosion, smoke object, there we go. Okay, so visualize that, there we go. And save this into its own folder. Explosion, and explosion. Explosion. There we go. And yeah, we're saving out the same thing. So flame, temperature, and density. That's all we need. That's all we need in there. We don't want... Did I save that? 1 to 100? That's not what we want. Well, we need 53 to... No, it was, yeah, 53 to 80. I think maybe I refreshed that. And this one, 53 also to 80 is where I want. You can do a bit more if you like, up to you. But yeah, 53 is the start of our simulation, and 80 is enough, in my opinion. So last thing to do is kind of push this up to... So I'm going to go down to 03. Often, before getting a final sim... Oops, I'm past there. I might do just a couple of frames just to make sure that it's not looking completely different. I've just stopped it at frame 57 there, and already we're seeing way more detail, but it's looking really nice. You see these patches of fire on the floor that will spread out and stay there when the helicopter moves away. So looks great. Let's go in here and actually save that out. Save that to disk, and that's going to be an overnight simulation most likely.